Hey, good morning, my dear friends, and welcome to foggy Southern California. Man, it is some morning here. It's a little chilly, damp, and as you can see, you can barely see the sunrise. In fact, you really can't see it. But that doesn't mean things aren't hot here in SoCal. Limits of white sea bass the other day, some great lingcod fishing. We'll check in on the long range situation in Mexico and so much more. Let me get set up. The MB is coming at you next. Before we get started on today's morning briefing, don't forget if you're headed to Ensenada, you're going to want to give Zeke Casas a call. Only 15 minutes from downtown, but just check out that spectacular view while in Ensenada, Baja California Norte. And if that garage door is giving you a problem, then you're going to want to call your garage door man. That's Joe Welker. Tax problems? Nobody better than our friend Tim Marquez. Tim's been doing taxes for 35 years. Give the tax man a call today. And for your heating and or air conditioning needs, you're going to want to talk to our dear friend John Lopez at Efficient Heating and Air Conditioning. Good morning, my dear friends. It is a foggy, kind of chilly day here in Southern California, but there is a lot to talk about. You know what time it is. It is time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. Nothing like a cup of hot coffee to get things rocking and rolling here this morning. It is a beautiful Tuesday morning. Yeah, I know it's a little bit foggy, but it's still really a beautiful morning. And I can't thank you enough for taking time out of your busy day to join us here today. If you don't mind, hit that like button. Also, subscribe to the Freeman Adventures YouTube channel. Tick that little bell and you'll be notified when there is new content. Sounds like we got some visitors back here behind us. And also, you can follow us over there on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Apple Podcast, and Spotify. It is always great to have you along for the ride. And man, what a ride it is here now in Southern California. On this foggy morning, we have got so much to talk about. Let's start out by talking about the long range situation. You know, the Royal Polaris the other day stopped at Alejos Rocks on their way down much farther south, and they came up with some quality yellowtail. On the Independence, they had a day of incredible wahoo fishing and some bigger yellowfin tuna. They are both searching around right now. There's been some weather issues. It got kind of nasty weather-wise down below there, 1,000 miles down below, but it's settling down, and we've got high hopes that the boys are going to be putting the wood to them again here this morning, because down there in that 1,000-mile range, we've seen some spectacular wahoo fishing, and we've seen some good yellowfin tuna fishing. There's been a lot of sharks around down in that neck of the woods also. We'll keep our eyes on that for you very, very closely. Speaking of keeping my eyes on something, I get the feeling I could get wiped out here this morning. So I'm keeping my eyes on that also. It's just starting to build here a little bit more. All right, so long range situation. We'll be watching the boys down there very, very closely for you all. Let's talk Mexico, and we've got to talk about all the yellowtail all the way up the Baja Peninsula. The peninsula is such a adventure-filled geographical area. I love the Baja Peninsula. I've been traveling down in Mexico in that neck of the woods for well over 50 years, and I've never been disappointed with a trip down there. In fact, I was just saying to Anthony, we made a trip down to Ensenada here recently, and I was just saying, oh man, this is like one of the best trips I've ever been on down here. Spending time with Paulina and visiting local eateries, going to Hoosongs, doing a little fishing at Playa Saldamondo. And then it dawned on me, I say that every time I go south of the border, because it truly is such a great adventure and a lot of fun. A lot of yellows down there around Cabo San Lucas, La Paz, Baja Pirates, and Tail Hunter International. Been all over the nice yellowtail. There's also a mix of other species on the beach. There's sierras. There's some rooster fish starting to show up Offshore, we're seeing some yellowfin tuna, an occasional striped marlin. We get you up to the Loreto area, salt, dog, sport fishing. Andrew's been putting the wood to the yellow several weeks now. He is limited out before noontime on the yellowtail, goes into the shallows and catches some cabrilla, salt dog, sport fishing in Laredo. You should give them a try, Andrew. There's a beautiful rig and fishes hard for you every single day. Santa Rosalia, there's good yellowtail fishing. We've seen some outstanding yellowtail fishing, only 140 miles down below the border. Now I'm talking about the San Quintin area. It's been good. And a lot of surface ironfish, which means those fish are getting up in the water column and becoming more active. Something that you'll see more of as we push deeper into spring and ultimately into summer and the fall. I'm thinking we're looking down the barrel of a really good yellowtail season, as that looks very good. In Ensenada, those yellows pop up there every once in a while also and bite. I'll tell you one thing that backs all that up in Ensenada and San Quintin, and that is some really great rock fishing out of Ensenada and even up there at Popotla, which is just about a 15-minute drive south of Rosarito. There's a little place called Popotla, a little port, and you can fish out of there. And if you're going to fish with anybody, Carlos Cortez and Cortez Sport Fishing, you can find him on Facebook. He does a great job, speaks perfect English, great guy, hard fisherman. He's been looking over the Coronado Islands all the time to keep it honest on the yellowtail also. So once again, really good stuff happening south of the border. Hey, don't forget our 5-day trip. 2 spaces available. We sail April the 21st, right around the corner on the mighty Independence. We would love you to join us. And I just mentioned Ensenada. I was down there with my co-host Paulina. We are putting on a great celebration September 21st. Actually, it's the 19th through the 21st. We're going to do some fishing. We're going to go to the local eateries. We're going to take you to Husong's. Paulina and yours truly are definitely looking forward to seeing you down there. If you want information on that, just send me a text, 657-227-6459, and we'll get you the information. We'll see you south of the border. We'll make it so much fun. It'll be great spending a weekend with all of you in Mexico. That should be a lot of fun. By the way, I hear those white termbirds chirping, and that is always a great sign for the surf. We'll get into the surf fishing here in just a moment. As we bounce you in to the United States now and start talking about the fishing around here, the Coronado Islands, Tyler Tanaka was on Tackle Shop Confessions last night, and he went into great detail about what they were seeing at the Coronado Islands. First of all, the water was off color. That's not good. It was green. Also, we saw it being really, really chilly. Tyler said it was 55 degrees. On the brighter side, however, he said there was a mountain of life with all kinds of dolphin and birds. Just seemed like there was bait everywhere up there around North Island. He thinks that could get rocking here very soon. But the reality is, it's been pretty slow for the sport boats fishing in the Coronado Islands. I mentioned Carlos Cortez has also been checking it out. There's been occasional hits on the yellows there, surface iron, yo-yo iron, dropper loop, bait on the bottom, as well as fly line bait. All those methods have worked at times, but there hasn't been huge numbers of yellowtail. They back that up with rockfish also there in that area. So we'll keep our eyes on the Coronado Islands. Hopefully that's going to get going here very, very soon. We have seen a few big yellows taken in La Jolla. We've been mentioning that to you. In fact, I mentioned it last night on Tackle Shop Confessions. And some of the private boaters and kayakers have been doing really well on a superior grade of yellowtail, including our dear friend Mikey from SD Fish and Sips. Subscribe, like on YouTube. SD Fish and Sips. Mikey's great. Watching him boat, or I guess boat that big yellow in La Jolla the other day. Fantastic. He is a magnificent angler, works hard at it all the time, and a super great guy. Mikey, nice going. Way to put the wood to those nice fish. So hopefully we'll see more of that to come. Of course, we got to talk white sea bass here in Southern California. April is not really that early, but given the water temperatures, I'm a little bit surprised that the Amiga was able to come up with a great hit. 17 guys, 17 white sea bass. One of the Freeman Adventures family members, Justin, was on board that great trip. He said, Phil, these were big, nice, quality white sea bass, 30 to 40 pounders. And they were biting on the dropper loop with a live squid about 2 feet off the bottom. Justin said that was the way to get a bite. That is a superior score. 17 guys, 17 white sea bass. The Amigo trying to go again this coming weekend. Give the office a call this morning, 310-832-8304. You're going to love it. By the way, May the 30th, we have just added another trip on board the Island Spirit that you're not going to want to miss. We're going to have a great time on the Island Spirit. Friday, May the 30th, probably be catching some surface fish. Who knows? Maybe sea bass, maybe halibut, calico bass, barracuda, and of course, backing it up, yes, the rockfish in case we need it, or if we just want to add to our surface catch. That is going to be a special departure time of 5:30 in the morning. Again, send me a text if you want to get on that. Just a few spots left, my friend. 657-227-6459. Plenty of rockfish up and down the Southern California coast. And I know it's foggy, but the ocean surface is calm and there's just not much wind at all right now. It is absolutely beautiful and a great time to be on the water. In fact, Anthony, who's doing the filming for Freeman Adventures now and helping out in a myriad of different ways here, will be on the Monte Carlo. Mackie is going to be on board the Monte Carlo today. And also Dan Lightfoot, Michael Limon, I believe Mitchell Harrigan is going to be on, who showed his disdain for albacore last night on the Danny Cadota show. A whole bunch of great guys, and we'll get some video footage of how they do fishing the rockfish. Plenty of that going on. Pursuit at Catalina Island. They had a couple of halibut, a lingcod, and a bunch of rockfish out of 22nd Street Landing. Nice hit for the Pursuit. They're running daily trips out there to Cat right now and doing really, really well. So that is great news. Native Son, limits of rockfish yesterday. In fact, George, who is the galley cook on board the Amigo, does such a fabulous job. George, it was great to see you, my friend, yesterday. George also works at the Irvine Bass Pro Shop. So he chartered the Native Son yesterday and brought all the great folks from Bass Pro Shops and some of their friends and relatives, and they limited out on the rockfish. Had an absolutely spectacular day up there on the Aloha Spirit, out of the Channel Islands. Cisco Sport Fishing up there. They had 40 lingcod yesterday. They also did really well fishing live squid on board some of the boats up there. They're starting to see more and more reds. Of course, boats like the Gray Light, little 6-pack yacht up there, great boat. They've been focused with that live squid on trying to catch sea bass. Yesterday, they did have a couple of halibut on the Gray Light, but no sea bass, but they're working hard at it. You're going to see a score on the WSBs here really, really soon. I'll be keeping my eyes on that for you very closely. The El Patron, Long Beach Sport Fishing, she's delayed in getting her brand new engines in. She'll be running here shortly, but she'll be making that daily run to beautiful Catalina Island, and it won't be much longer. We'll keep you informed on the time frame as we go along. But don't forget, get on the El Patron. You can get charter information right now and more by going to www.longbeachsportfishing.org. Highly recommend you do just that. Also, as we take a look up and down the Southern California coast, we talk surf fishing now, and the surf bite has been picking up steadily. Wayne Shimabakuro. I just said his name because I haven't said it for a long time. Of course, Wayne likes to fish down here with the High Tide group. Bunch of great anglers. They fish down there at Bolsa Chica on a regular basis. We've had some inclement weather here recently, but it's all settled down now. So Wayne should be down there very soon. I'm hearing good perch fishing down that way. We've seen a few spot fin croaker down here at Anderson and Pacific Coast Highway in Sunset Beach, California. Long cast with a worm. That's produced that. There's also some perch in there. A little bit more corvina. This water is pretty cold though right now, but we're starting to see a few more corvina and yellowfin croaker. And there's been some decent halibut fishing, especially up there in the Santa Monica Bay. We have seen some of that around the El Porto area, El Segundo area, and the Topaz Rock Jetty area. We've seen a few more corvina there in that neck of the woods. Also, we'll continue to watch that very closely. And I will send you right now down to Big Fish Bait and Tackle on the corner of Seal Beach Boulevard and Pacific Coast Highway. They do a great job down there. They've got all the bait you need, all the tackle you'll need, and they give away a free custom surf fishing rod every single month. Go in there, get the details, and start winning and start having fun here in the Southern California surf. I can see enough here to tell you that you could definitely fish this. Here's where you're making your cast with a lucky crab lure, or here's waiting for this wave to break now. You're gonna wait for that to break. And right about now, if you can cast me on that, you wanna cast and come back through there with a lucky crab or with a chrome crocodile lure. That is the way to do it. You'll catch some yellowfin croaker in here as well as an occasional halibut. It can get quite good. Moving up on another grunion run. I didn't look at the date. I got to do that for you. I will do that. Perhaps I'll put it down below in text for you and let you know, because when those grunion move up on the beach and it's close season, you're not allowed to take them from now for a few months. You can only observe, but fishing during those time periods is very productive, and it gets more and more predators up on the beach here. That is always really great news. All right, looks like good weather. I don't see any wind in the forecast for a while. That is all really, really good. Don't forget, send me a text if you're interested in our May 30th trip, our entire charter list, joining Paulina and yours truly in Ensenada, September 19th through the 21st. And then again, if you want to get on that 5-day trip on board the Independence with yours truly, I'll be there April the 21st. I'll be walking around Day at the Docks. I can't wait. It's this Sunday in San Diego. Make sure you say hi. And Paulina will be there at the Mag Bay Lure booth. Scott Buchert will be there at the Friends of Rollo booth. It's going to be a big party and a lot of fun. And I hope to see you there for sure. That would be great to get you on our show. We'll be doing some filming, walking around, checking out Day at the Docks. And if you want to be on You See Me Filming, don't hesitate to come over and say hello. That would mean the world to me. I deeply appreciate it when you do that. All right, my friends, what can I tell you? Great stuff going on here in Southern California. I can barely see the sun trying to peek through that fog back there. And once again, it looks like it's going to be a beautiful day. I hope the boys do well in the Monte Carlo today. I hope those sea bass are waiting with bated breath, no pun intended, out there. And of course, we'll watch long range and the bluefin bite. Remember, the Polaris Supreme just recently had 30 bluefin tuna 40-pounders in a night bite on a 3-day trip. All good and positive stuff. Take care, my friends. Have a great and beautiful Tuesday. If anything breaks today, Friedman Adventures will have it for you. In the meantime, I hope to see you really, really soon.